Hey guys, David Folk here, and today we're going to be talking about something that I think is one of the most important things about choosing golf clubs: gapping. So, question of the day. Do you know you're gapping from your driver to your lowest wedge? Whether you play a 56 or a 60, do you know what each club should actually carry as well as roll? Put those comments down below. Let's hear your average gapping, let's say, or you want to list all your gaps out, how far each one goes, both carry and roll. I try to get to everybody's comments, so go ahead and put those down below. If you have any questions, I try to answer those as well. While you're down there, guys, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up because YouTube likes that, and let's go putts around.
Hit the ball! Boom.
Let's talk about gapping, and we're going to talk about three things with gapping. The first one is how loft and length of the club affects gapping, how your swing speed affects gapping, and why it's important to actually know what your gapping is. Number one, loft and length of your club directly affects your gapping. You have your driver, your fairway woods, your hybrids, your irons, your wedges, all of them have a specific loft. That's going to launch the ball higher as you progress down the set. You got to make sure that we get the right loft to make sure we get the right distance and peak height so it descends down. Now, you can't separate loft from length of club because they combine. Whoop. Loft and length equal distance in the club. Theoretically speaking, you can play an 18-degree club really three different ways. You can play it in a fairway wood, which is going to have a long shaft. You can play it in your hybrid, which is going to have a shorter shaft. And then you can also play a 3-iron. Each of those clubs, the 18-degree fairway, the 18-degree hybrid, and the 18-degree iron, will carry a different distance, theoretically, because of how they're made up. This is why, guys, you don't want to look at the number at the bottom of the club when you're choosing clubs. It doesn't matter if it's a 3-wood. It doesn't matter if it's a 5 or 7 or 9 or whatever it is. What you want to look at when you go out and try clubs is, what am I missing? What's the area that I want to be able to fill? And then fill that area. Let's say you have a 5-wood and you choose a 3 hybrid that has the exact same loft. It doesn't matter. What's important is the fact that it fills the necessary gap of yardage that you guys want. So guys, point number one, when it comes to gapping, make sure you understand the relationship between loft and length of club. Tip number two is going to be swing speed. Club head speed is going to be crucial as well in trying to figure out your gapping. The faster you swing the club, the further the ball is going to go. That if you look at a gapping, let's say a 4-yard gapping between your 6-iron and your 7-iron, which on a player's iron set is going to be 30 degrees and 34 degrees. They generally say each degree of loft is approximately 2 to 3 yards. So in a 4-yard gap, that's anywhere between 8 and 12 yards. That's assuming you're going to have an average club head speed. If you're swinging a little slower, you're probably going to be looking more of 8 yards. If you're swinging a little faster, you're probably going to be looking at more 10 to 12 yards of gapping. My personal gapping is right around 10 yards is the number that I like to keep in my head. There are a couple of clubs that have a little bit different gapping, but swing speed influences all of that information. Really, it doesn't matter within the range of 8 to 12 yards. It doesn't matter where you fall. What you want to understand is what your actual yardage are. So your swing speed, if you guys go out and get some lessons and you develop your swing speed and you gain a couple miles an hour on that, you now have to rethink all of your gapping. What may have gone 175 may actually now go 180, which means that the club above it that went 185 may go 190. You have to look at your whole set as you look at gapping, and as you take lessons, as you make improvements, as you go out and buy new clubs, you have to consider all of that information and how it fits into your current set so that you can continue to find the nice little jigsaw pieces so that you're not stuck with a 15 or 20 yard gap between your 4 hybrid and your 5 iron, or between your pitching wedge and your 54 degree wedge. You have to be able to meld that together so that you're not having big, huge gaps. That's why I want to encourage you guys, find the right gaps based on your club head speed, and as you look at new clubs, make sure you still have the right gapping. Tip number 3, why you should actually care what your gapping is. Obviously, it's going to help you play better. If you know the distance of what each club is going to do, then you can actually hit that distance and be more accurate with the distances. However, you can also be able to determine all the variables that happen out on the golf course. Then you can understand if your 6-iron goes 180, a little wind in my face is probably going to knock it down 5 yards, but the downhill is also going to add 5 yards. You're still hitting 180. Boom. Now you can adjust your yardage based on what your gapping is. As we look at all of this and how it applies to you, you have to know what your carry distance is and your rollout distance if you have rollout distance. Some of us made the ball further and higher, which we don't get as much rollout. Some of us play in a specific part of the country, a part of the world where we want to keep it low and get more rollout. Either way, you want to know what your carry distance is and what your rollout distance is so you know how to best play golf on any course. If it's wet conditions, you're not going to get as much roll. If it's dry conditions and windy, you're going to get more roll. So you have to take that into consideration and why it's important to know your distances. Knowing your carry distance and the rollout distance is going to help you improve your game and hit more shots at the green. It at least gives you a baseline to be able to think about how to play golf shots. Now, the question is, how do you find that out? You go to a launch monitor and hit 24 of each club to get an average for carry only. The launch monitors are notoriously poor when it comes to calculating how much rollout you're going to get. I would recommend go there, get an idea of what your carry yardages are for each club, and then take that out on the course. Try and hit a couple of balls onto each green to see what happens. Does it stop? Does it not stop? How far does it roll? It's going to depend on a number of factors. Your shot, it's going to depend on your height, it's going to depend on your club head speed, on what kind of ball you're using, what kind of clubs you're using. So that's going to be all variables that you're going to have to take a look at. For me, I hit a 6-iron really high and I play a premium ball which produces more spin. So I have a higher spinning club, a higher trajectory, and a higher spinning ball. That is going to allow me to have the ball check up a little more. But if you're playing, let's say, ping G max iron with a noodle and your 6-iron goes 150 yards, you're probably going to get more rollout than I do. That's something that you guys need to understand on how all of your equipment plays into what's going to happen when you hit your approach shot onto the green. Gapping is something that it takes a little time, but I guarantee you it's going to shave some strokes off your game if you understand not what you think, but what is actually true to be what your gapping is. So guys, I hope that helps you as you look at trying to improve your game. Go ahead, post those comments down below. I look forward to hearing from you and what your gapping is on the question of the day. If you have any questions about what numbers you should be looking at to improve your gapping or how to know what your gapping is compared to that, if you have any questions, whatever questions there are, put those down below. I'll be happy to answer them. I try to get to everybody's comments and saying awesome, thanks, or answer those questions. Again, while you're down there, guys, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up because YouTube likes that. Thanks for watching, and we'll chat with you next time.